Long ago, in the time when gods roamed freely among mortals, there lived an immortal celestial weaver. Her name was Atarashiki, which means new dawn, and she wove the very fabric of the night sky, creating intricate tapestries of stars that humans like us could look up and marvel at from the earth below. Now, the first thing you should know about Astrashiki is that she wasn't just any weaver. No, sir. She was the greatest weaver in all of creation, possessing looms that stretched across the heavens and spun moonlight into starlight. But her greatest talent, you might ask, was her ability to craft the most exquisite pieces of celestial tapestry. Each thread of light telling stories of love, life, and death. The second thing you need to know about Astroshi is that although she was immortal, she had a heart as fleeting as a shooting star. And one day her heart would break for two young lovers who dared to defy the gods themselves. Their names were Orion and Pulsar. Two souls so deeply in love that it seemed the gods had woven their fates together. They met as children and grew up together, unaware that they were destined to be one day. When they reached the age of 20, Orion, a humble shepherd, proposed to his beloved Pulsar, and their engagement became a joyful celebration throughout their village. But alas, their happiness would not last long, because one day the gods decided to stir. You see, Zeus, the king of the gods, had set his eyes on the beautiful Pulsar and desired her for himself. He approached her parents and demanded their daughter's hand in marriage, threatening them with dire consequences if they refused. Terrified, her parents agreed, but Pulsar was far from giving up. She fled to the mountains where her betrothed Orion awaited. But Zeus, in his relentless pursuit, transformed himself into an eagle and swooped down to grab Pulsar before she could escape. As Orion watched helplessly, Zeus carried her away to Mount Olympus, the home of the gods. When he told her that he was going to marry her against her will, Pulsar began to cry, tears that flowed like rivers of starlight, filling the entire night sky with glitters. Seeing this, Astrashi, the celestial weaver, felt a pang of sympathy for the young woman. And so, as the wedding day approached, she decided to intervene, seeking the help of her twin sister Selene, who happened to be the goddess of the moon. Together, they devised a plan to grant Pulsar and Orion a chance at happiness. On the night of Pulsar's wedding, while Zeus was hosting a grand celebration on Mount Olympus, the sisters began their celestial performance. The first one, Astraea, spread out her magical loom across the sky and started weaving a tapestry so radiant it outshone even the brilliance of the gods. Each star she threaded into the cloth represented a single wish, and as she wove, she whispered incantations that granted these wishes, making every god and goddess present beg for a piece of the shimmering fabric. In a moment of divine distraction, Athena took advantage of the chaos, sneaking out of the party unnoticed. Meanwhile, Astrashiki went to her sister Selene, who bathed Athena in moonlight, granting her powers over the tides and winds. Then the two sisters wove Athena and Orion together in the celestial tapestry, allowing them to be together under the guise of the grand divine festival. And so their reunion became a secret known only to the stars. Yet their joy was short-lived, for the gods soon realized what had transpired. Dos, furious at being bested, declared that from that day forward, Athena and Orion would only be allowed to meet once a year to carry out this punishment. He scattered the remnants of Astrosheki's celestial tapestry across the night sky, each piece becoming a constellation. And every year on the anniversary of their forbidden wedding, he allowed Orion and Pulsar to reunite under one specific constellation, promising that if they could remain hidden from the gods for an entire year, they would be wed and their love would finally be blessed. But if they were discovered, then Pulsar would be forced to become the bride of Zeus. With heavy hearts, the lovers accepted these terms, finding solace in the knowledge that their bond transcended even the wrath of the gods. And so began the eternal cycle of love and longing. Every year on the anniversary of their forbidden wedding, Orion and Pulsar would meet under a different constellation, their love shining brightly against the backdrop of the cosmos. Yet, despite their happiness, a part of Astrosheiki grieved for the lovers whose happiness was forever tethered to the whims of the gods. One day, she confided in her sister, expressing her desire to free Orion and Pulsar from their annual reunion, no matter the cost. Selene, ever the pragmatist, cautioned against challenging the gods. But Astrosheiki was resolute. She decided to weave a celestial tapestry so captivating that it would divert the attention of the gods from the lovers below. As the day of the yearly reunion approached, Astrosheiki began her work. She wove tales of adventure, bravery, and romance, each thread infused with her own starlight. The tapestry she created was so entrancing that when the gods looked up to spy on Orion and Pulsar, they were instead captivated by Astrosheki's handiwork. For a brief moment, the lovers were safe. However, Zeus, ever vigilant, eventually noticed the ruse. Enraged by Astrosheki's interference, he threatened to destroy her looms and extinguish her starlight. Fearful but determined, Astrosheiki stood her ground. She challenged Zeus, declaring that true love should not be thwarted even by the gods themselves. In response, Zeus struck her looms with lightning, scattering her starlight into fragments across the heavens. Yet even as her starlight faded, Astrosheiki continued to weave, fueled by her belief in love's enduring power. And so she wove the tale of two lovers whose bond defied the very gods, their love story becoming the grandest constellation of them all, Ursa Major or the Big Dipper. Touched by Astrosheki's final masterpiece, Zeus relented somewhat. He restored her starlight, albeit with a warning that she was not to interfere in the affairs of mortals again. And from that day forth, Astrosheiki heeded the gods' warnings, focusing her celestial talents on weaving tales of heroes and legends. Yet every year on the anniversary of Orion and Pulsar's forbidden wedding, she wove their love story anew, ensuring that the constellation Ursa Major shone brighter than all the rest. For she knew that true love, like the stars, endures eternally, guiding lost souls back to one another. So the next time you gaze up at the night sky and see the Big Dipper, know that within its 7 points lies the story of two star-crossed lovers and the celestial weaver who ensured their bond remained unbroken. For in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, love is the most radiant thread of all. It binds us, it guides us, and it endures even in the face of divine wrath. And perhaps that's the most beautiful story of all. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. It helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future uploads. We've got lots more stories and videos coming your way. Until then, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, the universe has a story to tell. All you have to do is listen.